I think my biggest memory, my biggest lesson that I ever had was the first one. There was a guy named Steve Turk, and he was a air traffic controllers where he ended up working at, but he was also a commuter pilot, and he flew for Columbia Pacific. So he was my instructor. I went and met him the first time. My dad dropped me off, and he handed me a pilot operating handbook and says, here's this, and took out a yellow marker and max oil and usable quantity. Do you know what that means? Oh, yeah. So you know how all this stuff works? I said, yeah. He goes, okay, because you're expected to know this. If you're going to work for somebody, there's some things you have to know. I said, okay. So he asked me a couple questions, and I was busy looking at airplanes, and he goes, well, you're really not paying attention. Why don't you come back tomorrow so you can have a lesson? Just go home and look this stuff over. And these are called V-speeds. You can talk to somebody or read about it, and you don't have to be perfect, but show me that you've deserved to go flying. Okay. The next day, my dad picked me up and said, how'd the lesson go? I said, he gave me all his paperwork and stuff. And he was kind of trying to stay out of it, but wanted to help. I could tell. Next day I went for my lesson, and Steve and I walk in the back room, and he says, well, what's VSO? I don't know. What's VX? I don't know. I don't know what any of this stuff is. He goes,
yeah, he was asking you, had you studied the speeds of the aircraft that we're going to go fly?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so day 2, he says, you're not going flying. He says, you don't get to have the reward. You don't do the work. He says, as a pilot, you're going to learn this lesson right now. There's things you have to know. And he says, I don't care what your background is. You came here to be a pilot, and that's my job.